Welcome to the stream. We'll be playing Derail Valley here shortly. Oh, hello everybody. We're at the coal mine again. On in the shunter so we can shunt a few cars. About 5 of them down there. Pull around, load up, and then take over here in outgoing yard. Used to playing this in VR, so that's right back. Got coffee on the way. Sure these switches are and here we go. hoping all 5 cars would have been on the same track. It would have made sense to me, but only in Derail Valley do we have the laziest train ground. In fact, they're non-existent. Have you ever just looked at the wheels, tracks, them down? Kind of jerky. Notice while you're rolling, especially around corners. I'm so used to Run8. Rolls, gotta remember how the controls work. Used to being able to fly around and look at things. Probably should have done that already. 9 and 10. Hauling 8 cars with the steamer out of the coal mine, which we know we should be able to do. That's already got cars on it. Hunter. Those for game yet since they updated it with the new save locations and the lost and found. Let's see if we can find the lost and found shed. Here's Austin. And there's one. That's good. Right. Pressure. Back. Okay. Forward. suppose I should go turn in my sentence. Grab the action. Oh, look at that. 20 minutes, 20 minutes. Didn't get it. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. My girlfriend's bringing me coffee. Let's take that. So it's not. And we'll be right back. Apologize for the interruption. Got a hair hanging off my hat right. That's not fun. Back to the action. That one. I'm standing on top of my Christmas present right here. Yep. Santa nearly derailed trying to bring it to me. Right, well now we're just wasting all our water, so... Be like the birds and get the flock out of here. Oh, how about forward? Running start. start screaming out of the coal mine here at 40 kilometers an hour and see if we can make it over the crest. The coal mine's, you know, brutal 400% grade. Obviously can't use any cutoff trying to go over this hill. Audio settings. How's that? Is that a little better? Okay, I'm going to start slowing down as we're coming around this corner here. So my trick is to leave a little tiny bit of throttle here and then just start hitting the brakes, power brake, keep the cars slacked. keep it about 30 through this switch. All right. Cut off down. Okay, that's good. Thank you. It's still streaming. Still working on my first stream, so it's a work in progress. Looks like we need to tap off the oil here, or water, oil. More water. Check our speed. Need to start slowing down a bit here. Yeah, pop the ramp out here. It should be alright to go about 35. But yeah, I just leave a little tiny bit of throttle there, as you can see. That keeps the train pulling on the tender and the cars. Since the train brakes are a lot weaker, or the locomotive brakes are a lot weaker than the train brakes, the train will actually stretch itself out. And then notice that keeps the cars from derailing. So we made it over the hill, the hard part, but I'm only hauling 8 cars, so the real challenge is to do it with 13 cars. How are we looking back there? Looks like we're gonna have to stop. Forgot about the junction. Of course, it's gonna take me the wrong way. Paying a better attention. Backing up into it. Coffee here. Boy, that's good. Oh no, we're running out of steam. Open the regulator more. Come on, baby. You're almost there. Well, that was anticlimactic. We were going good, then I forgot to switch the junction. Come on. Back up. Back up. Really? Well, you're starting to piss me off. Oh boy, here we go again. Full throttle. Got my cowboy hat on, we're ready to go. Window behind me, it's getting a little warm in here. Yeah, this game's fun. Hard. Gotten a lot easier since I first started playing it, though. That's for sure. Well, we through the hard part, and we made it a lot harder than we needed to by forgetting to switch that switch and then fight with it, pushing it backwards. That used up most of our sand. We can go about 35 around the mountain there. The rest of it's just mostly braking. Managing the slack in the cars. Okay, firebox is out, so let's go ahead and preempt the ability. Slowing down. And go 40 through here. Close to 40. So once this hits 12, I'll relight that. I'm gonna let it smolder. Tap the brakes, tap the brakes. Tap, tap, tap. Cars look good. Can't see nothing from that way. Car slack looks constant. As long as we don't have the cars banging into each other, we'll be alright. If they start banging into each other, we're going to have problems. Oh, the speed, yeah. That speed limit map needs to be revised, though. Some of the 20 sections should actually be 30 per section. Alright, put out one more here. Definitely got a curvier section coming up. Oh, is it really? Yeah, that would be great. I'm surprised we've got mods already, even though mod support isn't officially supported. But hey, how many games do I play that mod support? Man, mods really like the Guild 2. Oh, if it weren't for mods, that game would have died. Played quite a few games when mods save the game. Not that this game needs mods to save it, but I love how mods will just take the game and almost make a whole new game out of it. Just cruising around here. If I could get my brakes to just hold it at right at 35, we'd be fine going around this mountain. Be faster than 35 and you risk derailing. I've made it a few times going 40. That little squiggly section up ahead though is a little squirrely. Once we get past that junction and start going past Oilwell North, we could just start hauling. Pardon the pun, hauling really fast. Yeah. Yeah. Well, developers generally don't care if you're using unsupported mods. You gotta break the game without mods for them to even care. Even if they do have mod support, like just make it an API easier, that doesn't really say much that the developers will care if there's compatibility issues. But it's all future, and these guys are pretty good, so who knows? It's almost like having a game designed by your best friend. They're so great with interacting with the community. And we can definitely go fast. Uh-oh. I'm gonna relight the fire. Steam pressure is almost non-existent. Yes, absolutely, by far one of the best non-toxic discords and communities around I've been with. So people are helpful and about to derail. Woo, that was close. I heard the wheels grinding. Cars are banging into each other. Apparently I don't have enough slack in it. Give it a little more power braking. Less brake. Time for some power. Considering it's really hard to reach the brake handle in non-VR if the firebox door is open and you have the brakes up to suppression, I think if I want to have the firebox door closed a little bit, I should be able to still shovel a little bit of coal in there. Back downhill. know, most of the time I try to drive the steamer by sound, because the sound is very different from 20 kilometers an hour up to 40. And if you listen, you kind of judge your speed without even having to look at the speedometer. Like that's the 30 kilometer per hour sound right there. And it starts picking up that sound as you start getting closer to 40. That's how you know. When I'm off doing other things in the steamer, that's when I know it's time to start hitting the brakes. Uh-oh. I missed the turn. Sure did. Come on. Yeah, we're not going to have any sand left. I really hate how the junction is just right out of the tunnel here. Well, it's a good thing I have $1 million to buy all the sand I want. Throw my lighter at it. Doing alright. We're out of the hard stretch. Need to keep an eye on those junctions. Yeah, I've already learned my lesson about that. The trick is to only go to about half when you're slamming on your brakes. And then once you hear the brakes engage, and then you can just jam it all the way to the top. Ready for that next one. I feel like I'm going too slow. I don't even hear the wheels squealing at all. Wheels ain't squealing, I'm not going fast enough. Oh, there we go. There's some wheel squeal. Oh, this is a super gentle turn. There's this pitch. Right. And we went right. First switch we actually managed to see before we got there. Right at the next one also. Thanks for the follows. Sorry I don't have no fancy banners up yet. I'm still working on stuff for my Twitch channel. But I will slowly over the next week be adding features, all the fun little things. Let's see, I'm gonna need brakes. Time to engage turbo mode. Give it some coal. Set. More speed. Keep it right around 40. I-10. 10. Fast. Out of the way. Okay. Banners are overrated. Yeah, well, all that fancy stuff. I'm not a big fan of all the glam and glitter, but other people like it, so. Oh, look at that, I can just barely get it in there. Okay. Time to take the brakes off. Go time. Well. Yeah, me too. When I'm watching other people's streams, sometimes all that stuff on the screen is kind of annoying. I almost didn't want to have my webcam on here. Now we're cooking. Time for turbo mode. 80 kilometers an hour. Come on, baby. Oh, apparently we can burn out while we're still moving. Oh man, look at that water. It's just going really fast. $70. Come on. 80. Where's my 80? Sounds like we're doing about 80 now. Yep. Right on the dot. Uh-oh, I think I forgot this corner is like 60. This is a 60-kilometer corner. We just derailed. Spectacularly. Let's jump off the train. Oh! Well, hey, we still got most of our cars. Bye, train. Yeah, that's the 60-kilometer-per-hour corner, and I forgot about it. Alright, come back here. Well, that's a shame. I almost felt like I accomplished something. I'm trying. She ran out of Steve, though. Come on. Tell it was a speed derailment because I only lost my back cars. I don't haul anything out of steel mill anymore because all these flat cars are so bugged. Can't even drive like 5 kilometers an hour with these things without them flying off the tracks. If I would have still had one more car, I could have turned in at least one of those jobs. Steel mill to the farm is like 10 feet. At 80, you'd be there in like no time at all. Ah. Here we are at the steel mill. Didn't want to derail. Are we at the steel mill? Why are there loaded iron cars here? Ah. Well, if you're hauling empty cars like these to the farm, those aren't bugged. But these flat cars, every time I try to take them, they just fly off the rails. Hold on. 10 cars to the farm. That's not very. I want hard mode. Where do you think I should go? Iron mine? You know, one of my other ones, its favorite one, is Harbor Town to Factory. Let's take a walk. Do you come out of Iron Mine East or West? Find them both difficult. Iron Mine East reminds me of just doing the coal mine run too much, so I'd rather just do coal mine there.
User entered your channel.
Oh, hold on. Still active.
Sound muted.
Don't want that. Playing Run8 right now. Pump your own cars, guys. Oh, hello. Harbor Town, so long. Trying to do the coal mine challenge. Well, isn't that cute? They're hugging each other. Are those two things really linked together? Yeah, they're hooked to each other. That's interesting. Oh, coming out of the cold Iron Mine West is really hard. That's like a 20-kilometer-per-hour corner right out of it. And I say 20 kilometers per hour with like a grain of salt. You don't want to be going like a snail around that corner, or you'll just derail as soon as you take the job. The good news is, though, if you derail, you don't have to go far to go pick up another train. Alright. Let's see. Rex. Food factory, chemical. 5 car. Not really hard mode. City South. Well, I don't know. 5 cars, 240 tons. That's not really a challenge. I think we will pop over to the iron mine. Piqued my interest. I have to hike all the way back that way. If you're just now joining, welcome to Walking Through the Mountains Simulator, where we hike through the mountains and enjoy the lush views of Derail Valley. Who needs a train anyways? I can't derail this way. So what's the most you've pulled out of the iron? Yeah, teleport simulator. What's the most you've pulled out of the iron mine? I think I've done 1,800 tons. With just the steamer. Just the steamer. 1,800 tons. I mean, you're not fighting a 400% grade coming out of there either, so... 1,800 is hard. It's equivalent to trying to do the coal mine run, I think. It's not easy. Stopping ain't easy. Going ain't easy. Certainly is hard mode. Just for giggles, let's see what the machine factory's got. Since we're here, auto racks. More auto racks. cars. For the same. Cars. Factory's got 2 cars. That's a car's going. That car. $450 and 92. Well, certainly give us a long train. That's or longer. 14 cars. 16 and 28,000. Man, I can't pass up the pay on those. Cars I shunter those. How many of you like? I want to be facing. Empty, so I'll just tack them on the back of the back 09 there. 5, 6, 7. Going. Called out. Oh, hey, cool. I'm talking about. Okay, well, you will. all the cars. Got this up. I have. Oh. All right, I'm going to do something real quick. Be right back. All right. And we're back. We're all linked up. Bye-bye, Shunter. Forward to infinity and beyond. That's awesome. I'll have to check it out. I have yet to mod the game. I know there's a few mods in there now. I haven't actually looked at the list since Concord started making them. Chugga 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 choo choo. Try to keep it about 50. I haven't done this run in a while. A little bit of wheel grinding going on there. Great. Harbor Town. Unfortunately, we have to deliver them to separate tracks, but that's not a big deal. Certainly go faster. Maybe not. About 40. Wheels are telling me differently. Oh, well, and derailing is telling me differently. That was kind of crappy. I don't know what happened there. We weren't even going that fast. Well, and there it is. Yeah. Well, I think I've had enough derailment physics for the day. Getting up on 2 hours for the stream now. Probably going to switch over to Run8 and do some operations over there. Thanks for tuning in. stick around if you want to watch some Run 8. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Uh, Run 8 is definitely cheaper than the other option, which is trains. I hear the one that costs like $2,000 to download everything. I've got a few of the skins for Run 8, and as far as from what I've played of it, it's definitely worth the money. Definitely worth the money. And if you want to get on a good multiplayer server, I would suggest Highball, a decent prototypical server, but it's semi-relaxed, so you can spawn in your own trains and locomotives and stuff, and so as long as you're following the signaling guidelines, you can pretty much drive and do what you want. Get the Highball server loaded up here and show you. This is West Colton. This is the yard where I mainly work. Got our receiving yard over here. They're all trains that have come in recently. Whole yard going. So generally do with these is we pull them in. They drive, well, they'll drive themselves in most of the time. Pull the locomotives off the front and back on the side track over here, and use the switchers, push them back over the sorting hump right here, automatically switch them in appropriate tracks. Once those are sorted, they get pulled out here. Sent over here to the destination yard. Once we have enough cars put together, send them out with locomotives. Next workflow in Run 8 is large yard, the large yard, and from like West Colton's a large yard. So like these cars are bound for LA. generally, you'll go from large yard to large yard, and then the large yards will sort them out to the smaller yards like Bakersfield and Mojave Yard. There's a few other ones. And from those small yards, they'll get sent out to the local industries. Basically like Derail Valley delivering coal from the coal mine to the steel mill. We've got this YLA train right here, which is destined for Los Angeles, if you guessed it. So, mostly empty cars. We only need a couple locomotives. Let's see, do I have any extra locomotives? Seems like I have a couple here. Need some that are facing it. Take one from here. Train's honking at me from the main line. Let's dispatch these. You can't see the dispatch screen, but I am currently just setting the lights and signals for trains so they. Want to unhook this one, close the air valves, disconnect the MU, handbrake, drain brake off, minute brake off. Honk twice. Yeah, these are all pulled off of incoming trains and then sent to the service yard, refueled. This one didn't. Well, they're supposed to be. Back it up. Okay. Buggy. Just have to be touching this there. Make sure this other one that I. That one's refueled. This one, that one is refueled. Let's go ahead and back this one up. lot more power. Back it up to the spot about here. Hello there, welcome to the channel. Now streaming some Run8 West Colton yard operations. Got tired of sucking at Derail Valley. Might go back to Derail Valley in a little while. Gotta try that coal mine run again. Like 1,000 tons. Alright. Back it up. The only thing I don't like in Run8 is the switches don't automatically push themselves into alignment if you drive through an opposed switch. So if I were to only drive through the switch halfway and it wasn't switched properly and then try to back up or move forward, depending on the switch, it'll split the train. You'll end up track drifting. Yeah. I've derailed once just because I wasn't paying attention for 5 seconds. Just trying to shovel coal. Alright. Set these up for multi-unit. Lead unit. You want to put the tag in. Maybe a West Colton to Los Angeles train. Let's just check all of our switches. Up. Up. Let's start backing up. Run8 is amazing. It's the website is run8studios.com. Drop a link here for you. So it's $40 for the base game. That'll give you the default train sets. You only need the base game for $40 to play and interact with everybody. But if you don't buy the skins, your cars will look like this. They'll say Run8 Western on them for any of the train sets that you don't own. So I still have to get the 2-bay hoppers and the gondolas and the cabooses and a couple of the locomotives. Like these are the auto racks that you can buy. A lot of the stuff I mess with going to LA is going to be auto racks. And the other popular one I would recommend buying first are the refrigerator cars, because there are a lot of those for these. You'll end up seeing a lot of generic Run8 logos without those. The good thing about the refrigerator packs is there's $6 for the first one, and that'll get you most of them. The $10 will buy the rest, but you have to have both packs if you want to see them all. And I would recommend refrigerators, and the FFC boxcars I'd probably buy last. I don't see a ton of those. It all depends on on the flavors that you want. If you don't have the locomotives, like I do, your locomotives will just look like this. The locomotive skins are definitely worth purchasing. Makes them look a heck of a lot better. You do get the SD40s and the GEVOs. Yeah, it is way cheaper, and you get more for your money. And there's so much you can do in Run 8. I've been doing Run 8 for probably about 2 weeks now, and I still haven't touched the surface for most of the stuff you can do. Oh, and the horn sounds are just... you can customize your horns, too. If you don't like the way the horns sound on your locomotives, you can make them sound like other locomotives, or download or record your own train sounds and input them. I know a few people on the server who have gone out and chased down trains and managed to get live recordings of the locomotive sounds. And some of them are pretty good. Oh yeah, crossing bell too. We're running an SD70 and two SD70s, but the other one was a GEVO. If we get past the switch, we'll back up. Get up on that LA train there. So, let's see here. I think we back 5, 4, 36 and 35. Got switches set. Pull forward. I live right next to a train station too. We have cars, trains kind of BNSF and Montana Rail Link coming through. And they got some nice looking stuff over there. Right now, I gotta make a video and go over there. They got a whole bunch of maintenance equipment sitting over there. Cranes and little tiny, like, they look like those little ATV vehicles, but they've got rail car wheels on them. Those Polaris, you know what I'm talking about, those Polaris ATVs. Not a four-wheeler, but like a little tiny truck. You know, most of the stuff that I see coming through here is coal cars, either empty or full, oil cans. And then we get those center beam racks. Oh, oops. Apparently there was a switch thrown the wrong way. Train is back drifting. Switch right. PSX railroading. Must live in the south or in the east. Switch setting. A little more power. North Alabama. Nice. I like the graphics on the Norfolk Southern trains. CSX, I just hear constant bad stories about them. Contact. Find the angle cocks. Let's see. Do I pull forward, back up? This way. Not easy. Like track 2 or 3 is it? It's pulling forward. Take a peek at the things are going through play. We have about a 7,000 foot long train here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. like we'll be doing all right. Pulled all the way through. Which? Oh, what the heck happened here? Properly. I swear I had those switches lined up properly. Oh, you can make them 2.5 miles long. There aren't many yards that can support trains that actually that long, though. Oh, I see what happened. Switch. Hit the wrong switch, that's why. Got it. I wanted to flip the other switch. Which is this one. The sound effects in this game are pretty good. Say that. I'm in love with the train sounds. Switch. Fix this other one. Set this one into air conditioning. Now we can pull forward and hopefully go in the correct direction. Need to clear that track so I can back up, link to the other cut of cars. We're going the right way? Yes, we are. Speed limit in the yard is about 15. Sometimes we follow that rule. It'd be really cool if they added derailment physics to Run8, but Run8's not about derailing. It's about prototypical yard or train operation, basically. Simple fact is it is quite hard to derail a train in real life unless you remove like 5 meters of track on both sides. It's actually easier to derail an unloaded train than it is a loaded train. The weight will just keep the loaded train right on the tracks. Just about around. Start hitting the brakes. I try to avoid using train brakes because, like in real life, once you use them, you have to wait for the air to restabilize before you can start moving again. So I try to stop my trains with the independent as much as I can. Dynamic or independent brakes. Now we can back up to the other cut.
Sound resumed. Channel switched.
There isn't anybody on the server right now, but normally there's 15 to 20 people on here running prototypical operations, dispatching, running trains themselves, working other yards, working in tandem with helping, there'll be one person running the hump controller, sorting cars, then another person doing this, putting the trains together, and then sending them on their way. Quite fun. Start working together with other. Run8 can seem a little boring trying to watch it on Twitch, but try to make it exciting. So I'll tell you, it's a lot more exciting playing the game than it is watching it sometimes. Start hitting the brakes. Slam into that cut. Couplers. Alright. Now hooked up. They're 6,800 feet long with a horsepower per ton of 2.5. Perfect. That is perfect. Now we just have to figure out how to get out. It's going to require backing out the lead, yard lead. We'll have to straight out here. My switches around. Start backing out this way, all the way down here. Should give us enough room. Oh, might help if I set the air brakes. Start moving. You should totally. It's only $40. You should totally get Run8. I can, and then just put in an application for the Highball server. They respond pretty quickly, and this place is amazing. It's better servers to play on. A lot of the other ones out there are trash. I hate to say it, but there's either a lot of griefers on them, or well, just problems. I'll just say that, just problems. So I've tried several of the other servers. I tried the depot. The depot will ban you for sneezing in the wrong direction. So rather than get banned from there, I just decided not to play with them. Several people who've been banned from the depot for dumb reasons. If you like really strict yard prototypical stuff where they follow Union Pacific or BNSF guidelines. Oh yeah, even in a simulation like this, people can't play nice or be nice. Corrupt trains, delete your trains that you spend hours working on. The people love to grief come in and just start deleting all the trains on the server to piss people off. So, like, it probably took me an hour to assemble this Los Angeles train last night. And sometimes you'll build something like this, and then someone will come in and just delete it. Like, oh, your train's in my way. Deleted, rather than move it. Or, we don't like the way your locomotives look. Deleted. This track right here wasn't full of these overflow cars. I'd be able to come out through this way. Back of our train is all the way out here. Got enough room to actually just keep pulling straight out here. Pull out on the main line if there are no trains coming. Try to avoid pulling out on the main line if we don't have to. Probably be coming out right through. Yeah. Like we'll have to back out a little bit onto the main line. Fast here, better slow down. They feel like a speed demon in Run 8 compared to Derail Valley because everything's in miles an hour and you like 15 miles an hour through switch or hard, which 25 kilometers per hour. Rough estimate. I'm going in reverse at 25 right now. Just need to get past this. Once we get past this switch. Brakes. Power. Set the switch on it. Goes. Light. Stopping very fast. Apply some train brake. 10 pounds ought to do it. The skins are set dependent on the car type, like the tag on the car. So you can't see the menu because it doesn't pop up on the stream. But this one's a TTGX car, so it's basically just the different car types. But there's several different skins for each one too. I guess the simple answer is yes, they are kind of random. Some of them are older, rusty. Some of them are brand new, shiny. Got tank cars that are the same way, acid cars. They'll be all rusty. There's a good bit of variety. You get your money's worth when paying for the skins. I'll tell you that. At first, I was scoffing at it. I was like, ugh, why do I have to pay all this money for these things? But when you look at the detail on them, definitely worth the money. And if you try to add it up, what you'd pay for the other train simulator, and you don't get the physics involved in Run8, it's definitely worth it. Routes I would recommend getting right off the bat to expand beyond the default route, which is just Mojave, Barstow. I would get the Cajon sub first because this is West Colton. This is the Cajon sub. Definitely worth getting. The Los Angeles San Bernardino sub, also worth getting. Seligman sub is just basically like Needles 2.0. It's a double track section of like desert. So I would buy that one last. And then there's the A-Line CSX, which is in the southeast. And there's the New York line, which I think is... I don't remember which one that is. But definitely the ones worth getting are your basic, get the basic Run8, and then Cajon, San Bernardino are definitely worth those three. And then for train car skins, you want to get like reefer pack first, which is only $8, and get both of the auto racks and center beams, and then gondolas and two bay hoppers, pretty much in any order you want after that. All right. This train is ready to depart for Los Angeles. So she'll pull through the yard. Actually, just AI this. She will drive herself. Ready to go. Let's make sure she's got lights. Trains. We got going on down here. Train weight. Got a green light, train. Don't say might. You do have to pick this. This is the train simulator you are looking for. See that? Jedi mind trick. This is the train simulator. You will buy the train simulator. You will join me on Highball. Ah, good. That's just moving. All right, Los Angeles is on its way. All right. We still got one more train to send out. It's going to go to the Mojave Small Yard. That is a long train. Close. Where's he? Look that one up. All right, I'll be right back. train jam up here. Got another train coming to Colton. Only got one in track. Probably not moving because headlight. Keeping up. Got some industry cars here. Locals. Just waiting for departure. This Union Pacific train's going to stop for right here. Right where this bridge is. Stop for a crew change. Jam everything up. So we're going to be waiting until everything clears out. Might as well get some power hooked up to these next ones. We're going to need lots of power for these. Ones are going out the other way, so we can actually send one. Grab these three and 3 more. Those 3. Facing them. Good. So other one. Done. Go forward. So there goes that train departing from the crew chain. 3 trains going that direction. Bound. Down and down. Suppose I should have clicked buttons. Gone a little faster. Yeah, 0 miles per hour. We're gonna need. I think I need. If I have this calculated right, this next train is very heavy, very long, all loaded oil cars, box cars, hoppers. Thought it was. Oh, that'll make it. Pull out of the train depot. Oh, the controls are. There's a PDF file that comes with the game. Print or stick the keyboard layout somewhere so you can reference it, because you'll definitely need it to start out. There's a lot of control and shift and right control buttons. If you want even better realism, you can invest in a rail driver, which some people use around. I like using the keyboard. I do just fine with the keyboard. But if you're really into trains, you can get a rail driver. Maybe even make it work with Derail Valley. It's track 38 and the cabs. I know I haven't shown you the cabs yet, but the cabs are great. Most of it's fully interactable. Like you can dial, like call the dispatcher, and it'll dispatch your tone. Most of the stuff in the cab is selectable depending on which cab you're in. Like sand works. Bell. Can't click the throttle controls yet. They're still working on some stuff. But these visual screens, those are completely interactable and you can select them, change them up. So like, let's see here. That one changes the right one. Changes the left. Yeah. Yeah, this does have multi-monitor support, up to 3 monitors. The driving the trains part is the real meat and potatoes of the simulator for some people. I love the yard operations just because I've seen the insides of trains, and they're great. I've driven a train a few times. So this is our DPU rear helper unit. We're just hooking it up to the back right now. Line our angle cocks. Set the parking brake. Jump out here. Okay. So, go. Back. Grab our other train. Yeah, Derail Valley definitely gives it a challenge. The challenge in Run 8, though, is to get over passes and stuff without breaking couplers and splitting your train into 400 pieces. So you may not derail, but there are other things that can happen. Like you can get defects, train, you can hit the detectors, which means your train is too tall or too wide to go through a tunnel. There's lots of other things that happen besides derailments that the game models. You know, it's only 5 guys working on it, kind of like Derail Valley. There's only 5 guys modeling that game too. So I wouldn't put it past them to eventually model derailments. They have high rail vehicles in this game already. You can drive the high rail trucks and do maintenance of way operations on the tracks. I know that's the thing. I haven't actually tested it out myself yet to see how it works, but someone was trying to explain it to me. So there's a ton of stuff in this that I still haven't even scratched the surface on. Apparently you can burn out your engines too if you overload them, overamp your electric motors. The dispatching's kind of really pretty cool too. You can, if you don't want to drive trains or do yard operations, you can just sit there and tell trains where to go all day long. There's people who just sit on here and dispatch, and the dispatching system works with the radio. The really cool thing about this that I haven't tested it out yet, but you can hook TeamSpeak to the radio when you dial like *50. That calls up the dispatcher for this area. When you look on the dispatch screen, it'll tell you which radio channel you need to be on. So, like this section, I should be on channel 42. And when you set channel 42, it should, if the TeamSpeak set up properly, it'll change you to channel 42 in TeamSpeak. So, that dispatcher. Come on. Faster here. Gotta drive to the end of the tracks. There's also train fencing, which if you don't know what that is, that's where you know how your front locomotives will be hooked to the back ones wirelessly or wired, depending on the train, locomotive setup, whatever. So your controls will be mirrored and your brakes will be mirrored. Well, if you're going over like a hill and your front ones are going downhill, back ones are still trying to push over, you don't want your back ones to all of a sudden cut power. So you fence the rears. That way they stay at full power, and then you cut the power to the front ones, so the rears are only pushing, and the front of the train will just pull itself down. That way you don't break your couplers. Because it models, if you look up there, it says coupler K pounds, how many thousands of pounds are on your couplers. I obviously don't have anything hooked up right now, so it says 0, but that's your total shear strength. And once that hits about 150 to 200,000, you're going to start snapping couplers off. depends. It depends on the physics. If it's like slow, you're going slow and it hits 200,000, it probably won't break a coupler. But if you like shear it or just like slam on the brakes or something, shear strength will just slice the coupler right off. We are definitely gonna have to get this LA train out of here before we're going anywhere. This next one. Can't even. Just barely missed the switch. Sometimes the dispatch. The wrong track selected, that's why. Cool thing about it is if you can't figure out where a switch is, like this is a CTC automatic switch, just stand on it and then when you look at the dispatch screen, it'll tell you which switch it is. Waiting for these trains to get moved. This next Union Pacific train is going to stop for a crew change. Uphill section, so power drifting, or not drift, keep the momentum. Oh, darn it. I am on the wrong track again. Not the right ones, these are. I have to pull all the way up. Might go a little faster if I. Run into the other train. Back up. Well, I don't have the Los Angeles sub yet myself. I just bought the base sub, Mojave base game, and the Cajon sub, which includes a lot. Los Angeles is the next. San Bernardino one is great. It's 40 and 40 for the two routes, so that's 80. And then the auto racks are 16, and the center beams are 10, so that's about $106. And then if you want skins for the locomotives, now, yeah, they have the GP40. There's two GP40 packs. Each one is 20 bucks. I'd get the first one. Well, I'd get the one depending on which train company you like Union Pacific, NSF, CSX. If you're doing this route, I'd probably just recommend the first one, I think, is the one you want. 40. That's 20 bucks. So you'll be looking about $126. GP40 pack. And yeah, here we go. Yeah, you want GP40 pack number 1. So that's 20 bucks. That'll give you the Union Pacific, Western Pacific. The Rio Grandes are very nice paint jobs. So are the Southern Pacifics. I don't have the GP40 pack, but I do like the GP40s a lot. I bought the SD40T. I love the tunnel motor ones. And those are absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, compared to the other train simulator, $126 isn't bad. I'll tell you what, I've spent way more than that on flight sim. Just the PMDG stuff I own is probably $400. Yeah, that's what I was told. Well, the physics aren't that. They're not good. They're pretty good in this. Other than not having derailments, the physics on this are great. Trains feel real with the brakes. The cars feel real. Like hooking up and just everything. You have to, like, each coupler, you have to set the air. I mean, there's a button you can push that'll automatically set them all for you. Like, watch, it says air system recharge, angle cocks have all been set. So rather than having to go down the train and set these all open, you can just hit a button. Makes it a lot easier. Right, well, we've got trains. This one is going to be an MWC MJ Mojave. Train's tagged for its destination. Oh. Supposed to put these. I was supposed to put these on the other cut of cars. I get to forward again. Already got the helpers on the set. Yes, there's hand brakes, air brakes. If you don't do the air brakes right, each car has its own brake reservoir, which is logged and simulated. So if the air is not repressurized, the car won't move. It'll just drag. You'll just be dragging the car, and you can hear the brakes as you're dragging the car. Yeah, it's all there. You get defects on your cars too. Alright, now let's get this set up, hooked up, correct set of cars. Yeah, if you don't set the handbrakes or you don't release the air out and put the cars in emergency, those cars can roll away. They'll just start rolling and keep rolling. Oh, this is one of the other cool things. You can jump on the ladders and ride on the outsides of the cars, the trains, things like that. There's also the conductor's chair. You can have multiple people per train. You can have like a person working as your conductor while you're the engineer. Well, the cut the cut of trains that has the broken coupler will automatically go into emergency because the airline will have been broken, so that section will stop. You'll get a broken coupler. Your section of train will stop too. Actually, both sections will go into emergency, and you'll be forced to stop. You'll have to close the angle cock on the back of your train, let the air repressurize. Then you have to go and replace each broken coupler individually. Then back your trains together, rehook them, repressurize the air, and then you have to wait for the air to repressurize through the whole system again. It takes about a minute and a half. It's modeled appropriately. You can use the cheat button to get going a little faster because it is a game. So you don't have to wait the minute and a half if you don't want to. But I should be able to show you by hooking up to this section what it does if we don't use air brake cheater. So open. So if I open this, hear the air. See the brake pressure dropped on the top of the screen here. So it's now refilling. So we've got a PCS open light. That's our air brake system. So in order to recharge the system, we set the train brake to suppression. We wait 1 minute and a half. That light will start flashing. Once the light starts flashing, let off train brakes and let the system pump it out. See on the bottom there it says move train brake handle to release in 65 seconds. So once it's done counting down, it'll this light will start flashing, and then we can release the train brake and repressurize the system. So while I'm waiting for that, I'll be right back. Make sure our angle cock on the end of the train was closed before popping the brakes. So put the reverser in neutral, release the train brakes. Our air system is now recharging. Wait for the air to come up. See, it's climbing up. Brake pressure system is set at 90 psi. Once it hits 90 psi, we can move. And that, from my understanding, is how they do it in the real world. So I'll be right back while this is still pumping up. We're ready to go. Take the parking brake off. Put it in gear. System's still pumping up a little bit, so probably hear the cars dragging. Yep. Dragging a little bit. Brakes pump up. So we'll set the independent. This finished pumping up, and I'm gonna dispatch this other train out of here. All right, that's why you. Regular traffic jam on here. Busy on the West Colton tracks. She goes. One will head out. That train is clear. Our LA train will depart across the tracks. And on to Los Angeles. Giving it all green lights. Right. Clear. This one. Now this one will start moving. Of course, he'll pull forward up to the crew change and then stop. So it'll only move about 100 yards. They always stop for the crew change points. Here, let me show you the map. They are interconnected, but certain tracks, like Union Pacific, has trackage rights on certain parts of BNSF. From my understanding, that Union Pacific actually has trackage rights on all of it now. But with the prototypical operations they run, they try to keep the Union Pacific trains on the Union Pacific tracks. You can route them however you want. When the AI will just drive straight. So when you set the switches, that's where they'll go. So if you set the switches wrong, you can send an LA train to Fort Worth, Texas if you want. Well, it takes a little bit of knowledge of the train tags. I will tell you, the most difficult part of the game for me was not learning the controls. Because the controls are all there, and you can pretty much control the train in all aspects. The hardest part of the game was learning the tagging system that they use to know where things go. Like, this one's pretty simple. That's Los Angeles, LA. Okay, that one's easy to figure out. This train over here, not so easy. These are all labeled with local routes, but you can look up LOP 53 and it'll tell you that that train goes to Mojave. It's a local industry train for the Mojave train yard, Union Pacific, smaller yard. But that's about it. I mean, when you figure out the trains, Like these ones here, LS916. Those are for Bakersfield. You can look those up too. It'll tell you that it's for Bakersfield. Some of the other ones are just passing through trains. Kind of got to guess on what the tags mean. Like that one train I just sent out, the Yuma sub, was a Los Angeles to G1. Now, I'm pretty sure that's a train that goes out east, so I sent it out east. It's not an actual train that stops anywhere on a local route, so it have really no bearing on the industries. You can delete it if you want. I find that very unrealistic. I'll just dispatch them out to a location. When they go off the route, there's lots like what's called off-route destination. They'll just despawn themselves. Where is the... Actually a a downloaded file, but it shows you the route. You go here to the maps page. If you go there and you download the off routes map, it'll show you the routes that we have, the subdivisions that they are, and what trains run along them. Stop point, like I said, go 100 yards and stop. So stop there for a couple minutes and then it'll continue on. So it's going to go down this way, cross over at the track right. That train is waiting. This one is MN, not Minnesota. It's, sometimes you can look them up. I have a Union Pacific rail tagger tell me looks like MN is Marion, Arkansas. So that train will go out to Arkansas. Since it's going to Arkansas, that train will get routed out through Union Pacific Yuma subdivision. One of these days. Don't normally have this much action around the yard. On the main line, I mean. Usually it's a lot easier to get trains to depart. Yeah, if you're going to buy the game, I would suggest going to the Highball server and putting in your application now. It takes them about 24 hours to respond. All right, there she goes. And the information is there. Nope. Restream doesn't seem to want. Post my text message. All right, I'll see you later, man. Have a great one. I'll catch you around. Probably going to be ending the stream here soon so I can take a break myself. So once I get this other train departed, I'll take a break, and then I might be back later to show some more yard operations. Maybe I'll catch you then. I've been streaming for 3.5 hours now. So time for a break. Time for everything. Right. Finally clear. Pull this train forward and get her up past this switch right. We're linked up to the half. DPU, or DPU's hooked up, and send her on to Mojave. Train break here, so we're a little indie break, so we're not speeding through so fast. Train to stop. Some train brake, I guess. Not too far, train. Grab right onto the back of the car here and ride it. As soon as the brakes pump back up, start moving. There we go. Power. Little more power. Looks like someone's over there working the Mojave yard. I'll let them know I've got their air and set up our DPU. Now, if we pop out to the back of the train, on there. It's on. Double check these. Make sure, go. Got one train that didn't get refueled. One locomotive that didn't get refueled. Alright. It's all set. Part. I think I gotta back it up. .4 horsepower per ton, 6,000 feet long, 11,500 tons. This is a heavy train. Go. Switches. Go down through. back. Back up that far. And just start long two. Backed up sufficiently. Light. Like we got to route this West Colton train in too from North Platte, Nebraska. This one. Long. That train will continue on until it gets to the junction right before my train. This train. On to Arkansas. Our LA train. Moving along down here. Speed. Goes all her pretty auto rack cars. Man, those are nice looking. Continue on into the San Bernardino sub. I do not have. But somebody with it will take care of it over in the LA yard. What's this? It's looking Norfolk Southern. Welcome on. A little odd to have. Like we got one of our dispatchers online. It's too bad I can't show you the dispatch screen. Doesn't seem to show, like an overlay or something. Doesn't appear. Okay. Like everything's set. Got my 2 major departures headed out. Finally got the tracks over here. The place was starting to look crowded. There she goes, round Slover Crossing, and on to Mojave. How exciting, man! That's a heavy train. Almost 12,000 tons. Have locomotive switchers to drive down. For some reason, this switcher is sitting right. Get him to pull forward on the back of this track. Back to about the horn sounds in this. Him to pull up right behind the other. Going. Just keep swimming. Oh, whoops, we're not paying attention. Break the coupler. Got broken coupler. Broke the front one. There you go. Now you can see how you fix broken couplers. But more people are logging in. Goes. Arkansas. Fair auto. Yard. Want to leave those all flipped. All right. I think I'll probably take a break here. Then we'll be back in a little while to do processing and see our receipt card is packed full. Fresno, definitely some parting trips. This one should not even probably be the first one. Barstow. Then we need this one right here, which is Baker's thing. Baker's. More stuff for Mojave. Well, I'm going to take a break here. Tune in later. Thanks for watching. And guys, have a great day.